Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we'll be continuing with our mod highlight series, and we've got something which I thought was still a while off. We've had Demonettes of Slaanesh, Plaguebearers of Nurgle, and now, as you can see on screen, we have Bloodletters of Khorne. Just a few short days after the release of the Plaguebearer mod, it seems that the modders Balent and Chaos Robbie have been hard at work to make sure that the Bloodletters of Khorne join swiftly after. This is once again another unit mod, which adds in an iconic unit from the Demons of Chaos army book into the Warriors of Chaos roster in Total War Warhammer. It's great to see representation of all the Chaos Gods as possible, and the Bloodletters themselves look absolutely amazing as you can see. But let's not waste any more time and check out this mod in greater detail. As with the other demon mods, you can recruit your Bloodletters in campaign and in custom battles. In your campaign, all you require is to build up the Arcane Vortex tree and also have a level 4 settlement. All 3 Chaos Demons can be found in the same building. This makes it easier for you if you want to focus up on a full demon army rather than just mixing them with some Chaos Warriors. Now let's look over the Bloodletters stats. The Bloodletters themselves are well balanced in terms of stat distribution. The only thing of note is their leadership is quite high. This isn't the case of lore, where Bloodletters are minor demons, as they are the core demon for Khorne's armies, whereas through this mod, same as the other demon mods, they've been given more of a mid to high tier role. In terms of special rules, they cause fear, have 40% physical resistance, have both the armor piercing and anti-infantry special rule, and as you can see, also suffer from rampage. This is obviously expected from Khornite demons. They are, after all, extensions of the god of war, bloodshed, and rage. The Bloodletters themselves also benefit from a quite decent charge bonus, which does indeed make sense. On the tabletop, just for comparison, playing Khornite demons meant that you'd want to charge as much as possible. You would have access to no magic, and barely any range, so for a Khornite demon you wanted to be upfront and personal with your enemies before they could snipe you out. In regards to any stat bonuses as you attain chevrons for these units, you can see on screen that it really doesn't make a difference. You're getting a few bonuses here and there per chevron, but much like the Plaguebearers or the Demonettes, they don't really need them anyway, as they're already powerful enough as it is. Don't worry too much about losing any high chevron based units. You can replace them just as easily and you won't notice the difference. Now let's compare the Bloodletters of Khorne to the Demonettes of Slaanesh and the Plaguebearers of Nurgle. Each of them are core-based demons for each of their respective Chaos Gods. It's rather obvious here throughout their differences in stats that this has been implemented rather nicely. Demonettes themselves are faster and more agile than the Bloodletters, and Plaguebearers themselves are tankier than them. However, the Bloodletters themselves, due to their charge bonuses, are much more capable to deal out damage, especially as soon as the battle starts. If you can get them to do the charge, they'll be able to rip apart your enemies without a single problem. All 3 of the units themselves are highly capable at what they're meant to do, but the Bloodletters themselves have always been described as a glass cannon type of unit in the tabletop. If you're not getting into combat quick, it's very likely that you could get surrounded and destroyed, and obviously your lack of armor makes you an easy target for ranged forces. This could pretty much apply to any Chaos Demon, not just the ones added in through these mods, but also in an official sense should we see them in Total War Warhammer 3. Can we just take a moment right now to appreciate how great these Bloodletters look? Well, in truth, all 3 unit mods themselves look absolutely fantastic. The modders are doing an amazing job, and I honestly hope that they have planned to introduce some Tzeentchian demons too, and well, why stop at the core? If we're still waiting for Total War Warhammer 3, maybe it's about time that the modders just worked on more and more demons. It would be rather interesting to see, as we only really have one official demon in the Total War Warhammer series as of yet. But now, let's try something a little bit different. We're going to go over 2 battles with the very same loadout against each other. 10 Demonettes of Slaanesh versus 10 Bloodletters of Khorne, and then we'll do 10 Bloodletters of Khorne versus 10 Plaguebearers of Nurgle. Let's see how the Bloodletters fare against each of the Chaos rivals. There is something about a sea of red which makes you want to scream blood for the blood god at the top of your lungs, especially when pairing the demons of Khorne versus the demons of Slaanesh. You have raw brutality versus a swift but sensual warfare. Both armies, as stated before, were pretty much the same in terms of numbers, with both of the respective lords having the same abilities too. Clashing right in front of each other, both units themselves are quite fast and ready to do damage. As the AI in Total War Warhammer isn't really too smart, it failed to do a proper tactic. Not surrounding the Bloodletters is a big mistake. If you have them spreading out your forces, they will rip apart your units with relative ease. Unless they're being surrounded, of course, which is where a Bloodletter fails. Its low armor makes it very vulnerable to multiple attacks. The battle itself didn't last too long, almost around 3 minutes, and the damage was relatively even on both sides. This is in a controlled environment, of course, where I barely played as the Bloodletters themselves. I sent them to do their damage, and that's it. But even then, at the end of the day, Khorne took the win, so we'll move on now to fight the Plaguebearers of Nurgle. The battle between the Bloodletters of Khorne and the Plaguebearers of Nurgle took a little longer, almost around 5.5 minutes. I was more curious about this fight than the other, as both Khorne and Nurgle are usually the Chaos Gods to be known as the strongest, especially in the end times where both were pretty much at their peak. Here you've got fast and furious Bloodletters of Khorne charging into very slow but durable Plaguebearers of Nurgle. It is very much the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. The same rules apply as before, same army composition in terms of numbers, and the respective lords themselves having the same abilities. Nobody was at an advantage barring their baseline stats. Naturally, due to the Plaguebearer's regeneration and natural toughness, it did take a lot longer, but eventually the Bloodletters did manage to rip them apart. While this might seem like I'm actually talking down the other 2 mods, this actually makes a lot of sense lore-wise. Out of the 4 Chaos Gods, the Demons of Khorne themselves are those known to be better in hand-to-hand combat and in frontline battles, whereas the Demons of Slaanesh were better known for their fast attacks, mostly in the form of chariot and cavalry-based units, whereas your Demons of Nurgle were weaker in terms of strength, but incredibly tanky. Out of the 3, despite the fact that Slaanesh is my favourite Chaos God, it feels like a lot more work was needed in terms for the models for the Bloodletters of Khorne, and it absolutely shows for itself. The model itself is fantastic, and it feels like a Bloodletter. Sure, it's not a 100% model representation, some things are a bit hard to program, but it honestly looks and feels great to use in Total War Warhammer. This is an incredible effort. The mod itself is definitely going to be something that's going to be in my loadout for many months to come. If you'd like to try out this mod, you can find a direct link in the description below. I highly recommend it. And if you'd like to recommend any mods for me to try out and possibly feature it on the channel, you could either leave a comment below or join the official Great Book of Grudges Discord, where it's easier to get in contact with me. The link to that is also in the description below. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Aaron Whitman and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.